Hi, I'm Jacob Wynn, and today I'm going to talk about the 2017 NBA MVP race. Now, I know that Russell Westbrook will win the MVP. And I have three main reasons as to why I believe so, and I think you should believe so too. The first reason is that he had a record-breaking season individually throughout, like as far as the stats go. The second reason is that he led his team to the playoffs and won more games than anyone had predicted. Our third reason would be that many current and former NBA superstars are supporting his MVP race. Now, the first reason, as far as his stats go, he broke a lot of records this season. His player efficiency rating, which is basically a number which takes a player's entire production on the court and boils it down to one number, is twice the average of the league, twice the league average. So his player efficiency rating is 30, and the league average is only 15. Now, also, Russell Westbrook broke the record for amount of triple doubles in one season. And triple doubles are basically when you get double-digit stats in three different stat categories, so over 10 points in either scoring, rebounds, assists, steals, things like that. And so he broke the record with 42. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but to put it in perspective, Michael Jordan, in his 15-year career, only had 28 triple-doubles. In one season, Russell Westbrook had 42. Also, Russell Westbrook averaged a triple-double for his season. So his entire season, he averaged over 10 points, over 10 rebounds, and over 10 assists, which hadn't been done in over half a century. The second main reason why Russell Westbrook is going to win the MVP is that he led his team to the playoffs. The NBA keeps a stat called estimated wins added, and basically it's how many wins a single player added to his team. Russell Westbrook led the league with that stat with nearly 30 wins added. Now, in an 82-game season, you can see how that would be a big deal. Without Russell Westbrook on this team, they would be one of the worst teams in the league. And now they're in the playoffs because of Russell Westbrook, despite the departure of Kevin Durant in last season's free agency. And the third main reason that Russell Westbrook will win the NBA MVP is that he has a lot of support from other stars in the league. So players like Shaquille O'Neal, players like Allen Iverson, players like Reggie Miller, who have all been inducted into the Hall of Fame, have come out saying that they would vote for Russell Westbrook for MVP. Also, current players like Damian Lillard, who is a two-time All-Star, two-time All-NBA player, said that his vote would go towards Russell Westbrook for MVP. Also, the only other player to ever average a triple-double in a season, Oscar Robertson, said that his vote would be going to Russell Westbrook for MVP. So, not only does Russell Westbrook have the stats, not only does he have the wins, but he has a large amount of supporters from people within the community. Now that by itself should show you guys that not only has Russell Westbrook had an amazing season, but he has had an MVP type season. A lot of people out there, I can imagine, wouldn't really care about the NBA or what's going on in it. But I disagree with that. I think that you should care about the NBA because not only is the NBA important to a lot of people, but it's part of our culture. Actually, last year in Game 7 of the NBA Finals, more people watched that live, 30.8 million, than watched Donald Trump's inauguration, which was only 30.6. So I think that is a statement on our society and how big a role the NBA plays in our culture. So just to recap, I believe that Russell Westbrook will win the MVP because he has had a crazy record-breaking season as far as his individual stats go. Second, he has had an amazing season as far as wins go. He's won nearly 50 games, almost 60% of his games. And third, because he's supported by a lot of players who are in the Hall of Fame and are bound to be in the Hall of Fame. So that concludes my presentation. Thank you very much.
All right, there's a lot of good stuff in the speech. A couple of things that are a little bit problematic, but not huge issues that you should worry too much about. The propositions clearly identified, that's fine. There's a clear preview, that's good. You kind of label everything in the body of the speech very clearly. That's easy to follow. At the end, you've got a good summary, so nobody's going to get lost listening to your argument. We understand what your supporting points are going to be. I do think, for example, on the third point, there should be some explanation. You've got all these NBA legends and current players who are talking about their votes. Do they get to vote for the MVP? I'm not exactly sure that that's how it works. And if they don't get to vote, why is their opinion important? Is it going to influence the people who, in fact, do vote on this award? I think that there needs to be a little bit of more tie-in with that information. Otherwise, the argument is really that the notion is that these people are making the same kind of projection that you're making, and they're credible, they understand the subject, so you should probably trust them in believing that that's going to be the outcome. That's probably the real argument that you want to make here. Although, I don't know, like I said, if they all vote, if they all get a vote, then, you know, they're revealing their vote, and I don't know how many votes there are that determine the MVP award in the NBA. So that's one of those things, maybe a little bit more background information on what that process is. The controversy issue is a little bit problematic because I don't know whether or not there's any other player that has comparable stats or has had a significant impact in the league this year, or, for example, is seen as being the kind of person that would be identifiable, either a previous winner, for instance, or somebody else who is relatively new. One of the things that I was kind of missing here is a little context on Russell Westbrook himself. I have not followed basketball for a long time, so I couldn't tell you if this was his first year in the NBA or his 15th year in the NBA, and I think maybe a little bit more background would help to explain that. I did think that you had an interesting justification for why we should listen to that argument. It kind of came after the argument that you made instead of earlier in the presentation. Probably that should have been a little bit earlier also. Lots of statistics. Like I said, you got some good testimony stuff. The one thing that I think is a little bit problematic is that there are a couple of these statistics where you don't really give us the source. I think most of it probably comes from the NBA itself, but you should always indicate that. All right, thank you.